Hi guys, I guess this is the first time I've ever uploaded a video to my YouTube channel and ever made a video in general. Really, not something I've ever done before, so I guess that's something exciting, something new, something I bet I'm familiar with. Really what I wanted to talk about was positive thinking, how to improve your mind and how to deal with negative thoughts that you get maybe having, because I've found some good ways to deal with negative thoughts and good ways to just think positively about things in general. And what I've learned a lot is that positive thoughts are something that ultimately we control. It's not out of our control. It's not something that no one else is causing you to think negative thoughts. It's all with yourself. It's all something that you have control over. One of the important things I learned that helped me was I always thought, well, I'm having these negative thoughts. I didn't like this so much. I thought, why am I having negative thoughts? Is there something that, is there a problem with my mind? Is there something wrong with my mind? And I did some research and found that actually negative thoughts are very common. The average person thinks like 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those thoughts are negative. And that's a big percentage of negative thoughts. And unfortunately, that's just evolution. That's just how we as people have been wired. We've been wired to think these thoughts, and up until fairly recently, I didn't know the best way to tackle these negative thoughts. But what I've found is that when you have a negative feeling, and this negative feeling, let's say, takes place, and you go from having this negative feeling to having this negative thought, basically what happens is it sends neurons work in your body, and it sends this bad feeling to your whole body. It's not just in your mind. If you have a negative thought or negative feeling and then you have a negative thought, it sends this feeling to your whole body. And that's quite powerful. Like, if you can have negative thoughts to a degree that it actually has been proven to harm your immune system. Like, you have negative thoughts, and that's really what they can do. If you've got too many negative thoughts, it can weaken your immune system. That's how powerful it is. That's how strong it is. But the positive of this is that there's the opposite, and the opposite is that you can have positive thoughts and you can think of positive things to minimize the amount of negative thoughts that you have. And that's what I've been finding really helpful. So now, instead of having negative thoughts, I try and work out whereabouts are my thoughts. I try and think about this more. Where is my mind currently at? What am I currently thinking of? It doesn't matter what I'm doing, whether I'm waiting in line or something, or thinking about something. That's always what my mind will now go to. Where's my mind currently at? Because when you realize where your mind is currently, then it's easier to prevent these thoughts, because you don't have to stop them so far down the line. You can stop them earlier. It's like, I realize that a negative thought may be coming on. Because I've realized that, I'm now able to prevent it earlier at the cause, and that's what's been helping me. Now, if I'm thinking of something, a negative feeling or a negative thought, I immediately think, right, what's the opposite of this? What's something positive that I can think about? What's something I'm looking forward to? What's something that I want to achieve in the future? How can I be great? What are things that I can be grateful for at the moment? And there's always things you can be grateful for. So that's mainly what I've been trying to do. And the reason why we have these negative thoughts, the reason why they come to mind, is because we attach a lot of meaning and a lot of importance to these thoughts and these feelings. So you go, right, I've made this negative thing really important to me. I've made this negative thought something that's really, really vital. I must think about it. So what happens is our brains become wired to think about this, and it's like, this is this thing I've made really important. So because I've made it really important, I need to think about it lots. And that's not the best way to protect yourself. The best way to protect yourself is to not think like that is to instead apply importance to the positive things. And I know that this has helped me a lot, and it's helping me a lot. And really, it's all about the importance of your mind. Your mind's obviously extremely important. Like, if you just look around yourself when you're at home or when you're out and about, you see these things around you in your room, in your living room, like these things that exist, these things that we use every day. Before they were to exist, they were once a thought. Before people were using electricity in houses, they were running the world with electricity. Before we discovered it, it was there. It was something. It hadn't been discovered yet, and now the world's lit with it. So there's these things. It's like the thoughts are extremely important. It's extremely important to have good thoughts, and that's the main thing I really wanted to say was about the thinking. Is you can channel those negative things. So now, instead of thinking negative thoughts, I try and think instead more along the lines of what am I going to achieve? What are things that I'm working on that I want to achieve? And what are things how am I going to get what I want? Not in a, it sounds bad. It sounds like you're being like selfish, or you really want to go on like too much stuff. I know, but really it is good. I promise you it's good. It's helped me. I think, right, what do I want to achieve? How am I going to achieve it? And I think like that a lot, because then I'm thinking about progression and I'm working towards it, and that's what helps me. I just think, what do I want to do? What are the things that make me happy? How can I work towards those things? And this has helped me a lot. And there's all kinds of, like me, I used to think more along the lines of, like, if something was going wrong, or if I felt sort of not wanted or rejected or something along those lines, or just felt alone, I suppose, I would always think, what's the thing that's wrong with me? That's my thing. I'd think there must be something wrong with me to be in this situation, and especially when I was younger, I didn't know the things I did now, so I'd look to myself. I'd be like, there's something wrong with me, when really it's not necessarily about that. It's like, and I think this comes through lots of things as well, but it comes through so many things. I find, like, it comes through education, because as well, in the sense of education, like school, okay, it's great. Like I love school. Like, I like work. I like studying things, and I had a good time in school, and I look back and have positive memories. But in the same way, like school, it doesn't always it makes people think that that's the be all and end all, and it's not. Someone who's went through school and done these things, like, I know it's not, because there's skills, and there's things that, there's skills, and there's knowledge that you can have, and you can be brilliant in areas and in topics that schools don't necessarily teach. Like, you could be a brilliant ballet dancer, you could be a brilliant sports analyst, you could be really good with stocks, you could be really good with loads of things that schools don't necessarily teach. And so I'd always see people go, oh well, I'm not smart, or oh, I'm not good enough to do this, or I'm not good enough to do that. And it's not always the way. It's more about how you interpret these things. And that was what was important to me. Like, I realized, I know this, and I'm always thinking about, how I'm always thinking about the way that life is. Really, it's an evolution. It's not an accumulation. It's not about how much of this I can obtain, how much of this I can get. It's more about accepting the journey that you're on, and it's like that, really. I mean, you can, if you really think about it, like, it's also a case of, sometimes you can go, like, sometimes you may really like a person. Like, let's say you really like a girl, and you want to go on a date with a girl, or you make advances with them. You're like, hey, let's meet up, and whatever, and maybe she's not keen. And before younger, I'd be like, there's something wrong with me here. But really, it's not always about that. It's about finding people that are right for you. It's about finding people that have similar personalities to you, have similar interests, and similar ways of thinking about the world, really, and thinking about life. And I know that I've made myself very, very unhappy before in previous situations where in my head I thought that, let's say, someone was the right person for me, and I drilled that into my mind because I was like, oh, they must be, and because they weren't, and I didn't realize that I thought they were, it would make me unhappy, because it was like, why why is this not going to plan, when really it was just not the right person for me. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough, it wasn't that, it wasn't that, it was just more about compatibility, and it's like, I know that there's lots of things that I need to work on. I know that for sure, and I try and do that. And every experience you have in life, really, it's all something. It's everything that's all the things that we've gone through and seen, and the lives that we've lived. They all play a part in how we feel today, and I know that for sure, because it plays a part in me. And I'm currently in a certain place where I'm not particularly happy, but with that being said, I have hope for the future. I have belief that things will get better, and some of these things, it's hard because I can't control them. I can't fix them, they're out of my control. But it's okay, because the things I can control, that's the things that I want to work towards. And I just want people to know that it's not a bad thing to be different, to have different thoughts, to perceive things differently. That's not something that's bad, because you need those people with different thoughts for the world to function. You need people that have creative ideas, that think differently, that you need people that want to be themselves. If you think about brilliant musicians, if you think about brilliant artists, if you think about brilliant speakers, brilliant leaders, these people, they have unique ideas that people want to learn from. And even if you don't necessarily agree with all their ideas, then you can at least appreciate the way their mind works and see how they think things. So you may go, okay, I don't necessarily agree with this person in this particular area of what they're saying. It doesn't resonate with me. But you can sit there and you can appreciate it, and you can go, wow, that way of thinking is interesting to me. I've realized that that's how someone else has interpreted something. That's how someone else has interpreted information. And that's what can be really, really helpful. And I think that, I don't think that it's good to shy away from differences if you feel different. I think differences are important, and that's really one of the most important things, is to be proud that you're different, not to try and force yourself to be like another person, or force yourself to fit into something that maybe naturally doesn't feel right. It's not always the easiest thing to do. I know that I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's because then really you have value with yourself, and you know more about yourself, and you have more self-awareness. And someone that taught me a lot about and helped me when I was especially growing up, when I was younger, there was a lot of importance on that, and there still is importance on that particular thing. But it's difficult because I no longer need now I'm older. I don't need so much I don't need to rely on anyone as no one does, because everyone's got the answers in themselves, really. But maybe when I was younger, I would rely on a certain person, and now I'm older, obviously I don't need to rely on someone. Not that I was completely reliant, but it's hard to explain, but now I'm older, it's like it would be nice to as I go through life, it'd be nice to them to see the things that I'm doing, and it's not something that anyone's done wrong, it really isn't. It's just how life can be, and I'll always make time for this person that helped me, and that's the most important thing really, is I'll always make time for them. And that's it really. There's always, it doesn't matter, I don't mind I don't mind necessarily if I don't hear from them, as long as they're happy. And even now I meet new people, I meet new friends online and things like that, and in life obviously as well. And and it's great to make friends and meet people, because they're the people that understand you, and when you have real friendships and real feelings, it's a good thing, you know. That's what I want to say, is that's one of the best things you can find. And it's important to look after it's important to look after your friendships, you know. And it's important to keep those people by your side, and to allow them. So I know this is going to be a long video now, because I guess there was a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but and this is the last point I really want to make, is before, if I had a friend and I was younger and I didn't know what I knew now, if someone made a mistake, like someone was being like a bit unkind to me, I'd be like, oh, this person's not my friend. And there's always that element of someone, obviously, if they're not your actual friend, then you want to keep away from them, you know. You don't want them around you, getting in your way, or bringing unnecessary negativity or unkindness to you. But in the same time, in the same sentence, you can have good friends, and sometimes good friends make mistakes. And before, if a good friend maybe made some mistakes or didn't do some things that I liked, I'd be like, nah, you know, I don't like this person anymore, I don't want to be friends with this person. And I'd maybe give them a bit of the cold shoulder, I'd be like, why are they treating me like that? But really the best thing to do is to allow your friends to make mistakes, and in the same way that if you made mistakes, you'd want your friends to support you, you know, you'd want your friends to stick by you. And that's what I try and do now. I try and put a lot of thought into things, and as I said, I know there's a lot of things I need to improve on, but I know that my mind is different, and I'm aware of that, and I don't want to have to make this seem like a bad thing. And I guess that's already something that I've said, but you know, I guess that was something I've already said. And yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say now, so I guess this will probably be the end of my video. And just to even do this and to put it out there, that was something that was a big step for me. And I hope you all have a good day if you're watching this. And yeah, thank you for watching my video.